Hello my dudes and welcome back to Minecraft Minecolonies Byzantine. This episode, we're going to do something a little bit different to the usual episodes. What I'm going to do is design and build a small little district complete from the start to the very finished, because I want you guys to see the whole process of decorating, designing and constructing an entire little district. Usually we kind of skip forwards with things, but I want to kind of keep everything flowing this episode, and we're going to see how it works. It might be how I do things going forwards, if it works well. If not, then we might not. But let's do it. This episode, we're going to be building the Siegeworks, including a small dock section with a pier, and hopefully one of the large dromon ships that's going to be full of guards. So let's get to it. Boom. Now, before we get going, I'm going to hop over to the tavern, because it's always good to head on over there and make sure that we've got some more dudes in the colony, get some fresh hires in, because your names are in the names list, and I want to get some more of you dudes in. As always, if you become a Patreon member or a YouTube member, you can put your name in the names list, and there's a chance that a dude will spawn with either the first or second or both names. And we've got a load of fresh dudes over here. Hultermain 101, what are your costs? Yeah, Redstone, let's get you in. Now, I'm not going to be kind of too picky about these guys, because there we go. We have loads of space in the colony, like an extra 20 or 30 spots. So let's get these guys in here. Jen, Bonehead, don't mind if I do. Oh man, Honeycomb? Did I pick any of that up? No, I'll give you a baked potato for now and go back for that. Oh, Big Nightingale. Oh, I love a big.
Oh, hey. Good to see you.
How's it going? Oh, and hay bales, we got those in spades. Lovely to see.
'Tis a fine day.
Boom. Anybody else knocking around? Mixed a long tit. Don't we already have a mixed a long tit? I think we do. So we're going to pass on you, but I definitely want Jen Bonehead. So let's go and see if we can grab that honeycomb. Now I reckon there's going to be honeycomb over at the warehouse. There's got to be, right? Yeah, sure, because the bees have been in production like crazy. So over to Braven Boulevard. And let's take a look. Oh my god, we've got 800 honeycomb. That's crazy. We've got to find an actual use for it outside of just recruiting new dudes. Or maybe it's actually time to turn off bee production for the moment. A couple of stacks of that should do. Let's go and get that bonehead in the colony. Here we go. Oh wait, Bingo Mahogany?
Can I help?
Who are you? Oh, enchanted books though. That's something we can't really spare. That's the one expense that is just a bit too pricey for us to get new dudes. Enchanted books. I just don't have that many of them. I guess you get most of those by exploring around. But here you go, Jen. Take some honeycomb. Didn't steal it. Amazing. And welcome to the crew. Now, before we get going on the Siegeworks, there is actually one other thing I want to do, and that is get a mechanic recruited over at the mechanics hut, because when we upgraded the town hall, I believe we should have gotten a mechanics hut somewhere inside this building. So let's take a look. It's got to be somewhere. Where would they put a mechanics hut? Probably hiding around the side. Oh, this is a guard tower. Might as well get this built. Get on that, I guess, Jensen. Probably quite close. But where is the mechanics hut? Oh, hello. Ah, I think this must be it. It's like a little kind of booth. Well, I love it. And it's level 0 at the moment, which means we do actually need to build it. Oh, and this is not cheap. Well, actually, no, it actually kind of is. So we'll get Leo on that. Boom. Okay, now it's time to empty my backpack, get a couple of tools, and the things I'm going to need to get started on the Siegeworks area. So here we are, back at base. Oh, I can probably get rid of these vines as well. Don't need those. But I've got an empty backpack. Get rid of that bed too. I've got an empty backpack. Amazing. Now I've got what I need to go over there and start this area. I've got my diamond paxel. This might run out because these diamond paxels don't actually last that long. But what we're going to do is go over to Braven Boulevard and I'll show you the area we're going to prepare for this new zone. So the plans are very simple. We have the wall over there. What we're going to do is add a retaining wall against the wall, have an area of water where we're going to park the ship, a pier that comes out next to that, flatten the land out over here, put the Siegeworks on top, and then marry it all up with some more retaining walls, some sea walls, and paths and decorations. So let's get started. The first step is always the same step, and that's clearing the land. So I've got my paxel, I've got food, I feel like I'm ready to rock. Now, I'm not going to waste my Paxel on the leaves, and it's always good to, start with the leaves and the shrubberies, because, you know, they get in the way a lot. But yeah, I want to preserve my tool for all the things that are going to need a tool, because otherwise it takes too long with fists. And leaves, that's not the case. Leaves you can just one tap. Okay, and so that marks most of the leaves and brush taken care of. This area is pretty clear of all of that jungle and, you know, just leaves and things. So now we've got to get to the land and this wood clearing. Now, for the wood, it's definitely worth using the tool because wood takes a while to punch. But for dirt, again, because you've got Ultimine, I feel like the best thing to do with dirt is just to use my fists. While it is going to be slightly quicker with a Paxel, digging out 64 bits of dirt every time we smash it is going to be really draining on this tool's durability. And there we go, that's almost all of the wood taken care of. Now, it's good to do this now, even though it's little bits of wood here and there. If you don't do this before you clear out the dirt, you're going to be left with hanging logs that are much harder to clear out. Okay, so I'm going to get my fists now, and we're going to start chipping away at the grass. Now, luckily, when you ultimine grass, it only takes the top layer, because it won't mine the dirt. And that's pretty cool. Now, we're going to have to flatten this all the way down to sea level, because, well, yeah, if this is a docks district, it's kind of going to need to be at sea level. Now, it's worth holding on to this dirt, but that makes me realize there's one thing I forgot. So I'm going to hop over to my house and pick up my dank. Here we go. It's got to be somewhere in here. The dank. There it is. Dank 2. And we'll chuck a lot of this brush into the computer for now, because we're not really going to need that. But yeah, again, hold on to that oak, because that's pretty useful. And I think the Garden of Hoobies is probably a quicker waypoint to get back to here. So let's get on over there and start digging up more of this dirt. Now again, what you can do is have builders empty an area full of stuff. And if you don't have Ultimine in the mod pack that you're using for Minecolonies, that's probably a really good shout. But I'm kind of limited on builders. I only have 4, which isn't really enough at this stage. And I do have Ultimine, so it's going to be much quicker just digging this out by hand than waiting for builders to do all that. So we'll set the dank to dirt. Use the right key to make sure we're picking up everything we're supposed to. Filtered pickup, void pickup, none. We'll go to pick up all for now, and just, yeah, fill our pack with all this dirt. Let's do it. So there you go, that's almost all of the dirt over here in this small little corner area out of the way. But before we continue, I want to start with building the retaining walls, or at least getting them down in my head. I want to know how much stone I have to clear out. Now, using my fists to get this dirt up has really saved me on the diamond tool. This would have been completely spent by now. Probably 2 times over if I was using a tool rather than my fist. So while it does seem a bit noobish and a bit vanilla-y, Sometimes using fists instead of a tool is the smart choice. So let's get the build tool out now, but before we do that, slop on the builder's goggles so we can see what we're doing. And now we're going to start putting down some retaining walls. Oh yeah, now this is where it gets quite exciting. Go to, where is it? Fundamentals. Wait. Antique. We don't want antique. There we go, Byzantine. So in infrastructure, retaining walls, and we'll start with a corner over here. I think it's a corner out, right? Yeah, looking good. And we'll just swivel this around. Now, we kind of want enough room for you to walk around and be able to get into the guard tower. So we need it to be a bit away from that actual tower. We'll give it a bit of a gap, lower it down, make sure it's in the right spot, which I believe it is. Best thing to do is just to kind of put it on the very corner, then pull it one that way, one this way, one that way, one this way. And do we go one more? Yeah, one more. That way, this way. And then raise it up. And that's about level with the guard tower. Looks pretty good to me. And we'll give it to... I guess we're just going to go between all of them now. We'll start from the top and go all the way down, and then keep repeating. That's the safest way to do it. So Jensen there. Let's take a look. Ah, yeah. And with the builder's goggles, we can see the loose template in position. So let's just now keep going with these retaining walls. Now we're also going to need to raise these retaining walls because, as you can see, the wall goes up as well with the landscape. And that's a bit of a shame. In hindsight, I think what I probably should have done is made the walls kind of stay the same level, because that makes going forwards building everything much, much easier. But if we raise this up now and get it to be about level with the corner, maybe? Yeah, I think that's probably for the best. Like that. Then this one goes to Molly Moo. Thank you very much. And there we go, that's 3 retaining walls in the corner section ready to rock. We'll have to add a riser here as well, but that's not a problem. Retaining wall, long, I think we're gonna need 4, right? Yeah. Actually, we might need 8 going along here, but we'll worry about that later. Get it level. There we go, and this is gonna be, again, Jensen, just cycling through. And yeah, once we clear out all this stone, we can keep going, keep adding more retaining walls. But we need to work out how much space we're going to need now. So we need to go in here and see how big the dromon really is. So is it in decorations, ships, player, explorer, merchant, and rowboats? There's a rowboat? Oh man, that's pretty cool. Didn't know about that one. Was it in military, maybe? Warship? Yeah, the dromon, there it is. Oh yeah, Carl Dromon. So, oh my god, this is much bigger than I remember. Oh my god. So we're going to have to squeeze this in somehow. Let's get it up to the right level of the water. Perfect. That looks like it matches pretty well. Swift it over this way. Oh my god, this is so freaking huge. Is it going to fit? You know what? This is not going to fit. Not this way, at least. So that means we might have to actually rethink our plans. What instead we're going to do then is we're going to swing it around and have it like basically parallel parked. Yeah, this makes a lot more sense because otherwise it's just not realistic squeezing it in here. This actually looks like it kind of might work. We'll bring it over so it's squeezed quite tightly in, like that. But how much room over here does this give us? That's a good question. Oh my god, this thing's so big. It's so big. We'll have to move that seawall. Not a big problem. But yeah, we can say the boat is parked. That's what it's doing. And this is also going to cause us to revise our plans. Now, I'm not going to move the retaining walls. Instead, I'm just going to keep everything at the level that this wall is over here. What do I mean by that? Well, we'll press go on this, and we'll get... Ooh, who's on this one? I guess Leo. Build that. Have a sleep so we don't die. Where's my sleeping bag gone? There it is. And we're almost ready to rock with the kind of terraforming / decoration. Now what we're going to do is bring a retaining wall from here all the way across here. And we're going to be skipping out the pier section for this because we're going to need this valuable space over here for the siege workshop. So let's do it. Yeah, I think this is going to work quite nicely. So we'll bring it over so it's very flush with that wall. Oh yeah, super flush. And again, give this, I guess, to... Is this Molly Moo's turn? I think it must be. Get it on visual. Where are my builder's goggles? Are they not working? Come on, dude. There we go. Match it up so it's all nice and flush. And then I think with one more, we're kind of going to be good. Yeah, give this one to Ambriel. Build that building. Get it on visual. Why can't we see these? It bugs out a lot. Old builder's goggles. But yeah, now we kind of know the area that we're working with. We can finally put down the siege workshop. Now that's where I'm going to need something that I am missing. I'm going to need the mechanics hut before I continue. So back to base. Wish I'd remembered this. The mechanics hut, of course, is a very simple build. I think it needs, what is it? Redstone block? Yeah, there we go, which I think I have. Boom, mechanics hut. Okay, now let's get back and put this in position. So here we are, we're going to put the siege workshop right here in the corner. Then what I'm kind of thinking is, our warehouse over there is filling up really quickly, and I'm considering maybe building a second warehouse over here, just to hold all of our stuff. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's put down the siege workshop. So, is it in fundamentals? No. Is it in military? Because it could be. Oh, there it is, the siege works, yes! Mechanics hut. Now, how impressive is this as a building? I realize I have no idea how big this thing is. Could be way too huge. But at the moment, it actually looks very manageable. Very manageable indeed. Wait a minute, hang on a sec. This is part of a wall. Oh man, oh no way. Okay, this actually makes things a little bit easier. I don't know why, but for some reason I thought it was a standalone building. Well, okay then, what we can do now is just basically line this up with one of the wall segments. That looks okay to me. Bring it this way so it's not on the slopey section. Or maybe actually we want it up here on the taller bit. Yeah, I think that's what we want to do. So we'll raise it up like this. And does that look like it fits? I think it does. Oh man, this is a pretty cool looking building. Well, okay, let's see what it looks like at level 1. Level 2. Oh, very cool. Level 3. And level 4. And 5? Okay, now it looks like it sits quite well with the wall, but I'm not 100% sure. Oh wow, yeah, so look at this. From outside the walls, you can see it adds its own little kind of tower section with, at the top, look at that, like a really cool looking ballista. Amazing! Well, this is the perfect location for it, so I'm going to go and plug this in. Now, the block for this, the actual construction block, pretty high in the sky, shouldn't be a problem. We'll tick it, and... ooh, okay, nerd pole time. There we go. And for this, build options, it's gonna be... yeah, I think we're back to Jensen, aren't we? Boom, build building. So there we go, we have a building project in mind. Now, getting the rest of the retaining walls is gonna mean I'm gonna need to get this build finished first. But it looks like we have a really strong and solid place to begin. So, I guess, if I take off the builder's goggles now... oof, nice big flat open space... And I can start to help dig out the space for where the dromon is going to be, because that's going to take a lot of digging to get that into position, and that means digging up a lot of stone as well. Because as always, the best way to help out your builders is to clear an area for them. It will take them forever otherwise to start building. And like I said, fists just aren't going to cut the mustard when it comes to digging out stone, because there's copper here as well, lovely stuff. Ooh, bit of tin. So yeah, using the Paxel for this is basically the reason why we made it. Nice and handy. Now another risk is this area is full of water, mostly. So drowning is a very real risk for our builders. We've got to be on top of that, make sure these guys don't ripperoni and pepperoni in the Byzantine canals. And we'll clear out a bit of this retaining wall as well. Oh my god, I just took out the entire... That was a that was a mistake. Okay, how much of this are we taking out when we dig here? Oh, quite a lot. Whoopsie daisy, we're going to have to go and patch that up later on. And there you go. You know what? I'm not going to spend all day digging out absolutely every single bit of dirt and stuff for our builder, because at the end of the day, they do this themselves if we leave them to it. So I'm going to step back now, give them all the materials they're going to need to get this build done, and let's watch this bad boy get built. So here we go, a big build this episode, lots and lots of retaining walls to go down, plus the dromon ship, which is really, really, really big. It uses only wood, so I thought it would go up quite quick, but the big problem the builder has with this build is clearing out all of the stone and dirt that we didn't do for the builder. Also, there's a bit of retaining wall and seawall that the builder is going to trim up. Now, the retaining wall itself went up super quick, really good to see, but again, just like I thought, the builders were getting really snagged up on this loose, unflowing water. It was a real trick for them to kind of get around that. Now, Aqualario did zip in here, put down a couple more blueprints for some more retaining walls because we had some builders being idle while one of them was stuck building the dromon. So you'll see the retaining walls go up in the background, and if we're lucky, pretty soon we might actually see the first blocks of the dromon ship go down. And also not forgetting the Siegeworks in the background, but once again, we've used one of the builders from the opposite side of the colony to build the Siegeworks, so it's taking her a really long time to get all the way over here with the building materials. Now we will have to flatten out this land pretty soon and get this area ready to be a real district, but as you can see, boom, exciting times, the prep work is done and the boat has begun construction. So yeah, like I said, the boat only really uses wood, which means it was really simple to gather the materials for it. Weirdly, it's putting down a lot of dirt. The hold is going to be full of dirt. I guess maybe that's a design feature. Maybe we're supposed to clear it out. But one of the big problems with the build was the sails. We needed to make a lot of wool, blue and light blue, but once you get the dyes in place with a bit of lapis lazuli, it's not really a problem. But again, yeah, it's not the dromon that's taking a long time to build, really. The big stickler at the moment is the Siegeworks in the background, because as you can see, the sails on the dromon, once the builder's in build mode, go up really, really, really quick. And I think that's mostly because we used a builder that was a bit more nearby for the dromon. But I really do love those panels on the side of the dromon, those red, white and blue creeper faces. They're a really nice touch. And the sails themselves are really impressive to see. Now, credits to the builder, Spumante, because building sails on a ship is actually a really tricky prospect. Often they don't really look right, and I think the ones from this dromon ship look amazing. Now, it is a tight squeeze in there for the ship, but I think, you know what, it looks okay. Now, coming over to the Siegeworks, we couldn't really time-lapse this because it was taking the builder so long. So we kind of stagger faded in this footage so you can see slowly, bit by bit, the Siegeworks coming up. And there we go, it's built. So let's get in game and check it out. Oh man, so what a build. And surprisingly, the dromon went up much quicker than the Siegeworks, which is a bit strange, but then there's so many different smaller parts to the Siegeworks. I mean, the catapult alone, I think, was the big problem for the builder because there's so many... What's that? There's a word on the front. There's so many different small bits and bobs, tiny little bricks and changes to this building, and we actually can't get to this yet, so we're going to have to fix that and plumb things in. But as you can see, I've put down a little bit of dirt here to make it slightly more level. We're going to bring all this up and make it all look neat and tidy, do a bit of terraforming. But for the most part, it's all good to go. The rest is just really just busy work. I mean, putting down all of the dirt that we got in our dank is going to take quite some time. But that's why it's so useful having the dank to collect all of this dirt, because you will need it later on to patch things up. So, packs. I guess that's what is a catapult? In Roman, maybe? Oh, it's even got like the little kind of hole. Very cool. But yeah, this is the mechanic's hut. So let's hire a mechanic. If we can find the block. Oh yeah, that's right. It was on like the second floor, wasn't it? Yeah, boom, here we go. And this is pretty exciting because as soon as we get a mechanic, we can start making charcoal. Now we're going to pick again from our knights and druids and archers to see if we can find the best dude for the job. Aquamumu has loads of knowledge and agility. Good to go. Big Nightingale. Oh man, you know, I might as well get Big Nightingale in here because I think that's a good mechanic name. The stats are okay. They will improve as the mechanic does some mechanicking. So very cool indeed. And this is what a medieval mechanic looks like. Big Nightingale. He's on the run. Now, a mechanic doesn't need any tools. They kind of work like... Oh, what's the closest building to this? Kind of like a blacksmith, actually. They just take stuff and make it. So there's custom recipes and the crafting recipes that it comes with automatically. So this guy is... Oh, he can make copper into weathered copper. Okay, very cool. And he's the guy that makes the wooden gates and the iron gates from the Minecolony mod. Right, so the number one recipe I think we want to teach this guy is going to be bricks. It's the one thing that's really been holding me up in this series, not having anybody that can make these basic bricks. There's also a whole bunch of other things the mechanic can make, basically anything to do with redstone, but I'll come back and add the recipes that we need from him as and when they're required around the colony. If you can think of anything for the mechanic to make that's quite important, drop it in the comments section so I can add it to the list of things to get him to craft. But that's the Siegeworks, and it kind of combos with the wall really well. There's one problem up here though, because this was kind of like a slanty wall, we've kind of got to redo the stairs for this wall, because it's not quite perfect. This side is okay, it's still got the stairs, but the other side, yeah, we're going to need to make some stairs so we can get up there. But yeah, I do love the ballista that this puts on top. Looks really cool. Oh, at level 1 it's a catapult. I guess it gets upgraded to a ballista at higher levels. Very cool. But that's the mechanic's hut. What about the dromon? Oh, the warship of legends. Now apparently in ancient times, this thing used to throw flames. It was like a flamethrower boat, which, considering it's made out of wood, seems like a very dangerous endeavor still. Those Byzantinians were quite famously mad/insane. Now, there's a bit of a problem here. For some reason, the build has filled the hold with dirt. I can clear this out using Ultimine, I guess. There we go. But now we've got the problem that there's running water down here as well. Can we patch that up too? Is this going to work? Oh yeah. Wait, no. Oh, it's because this plank here is waterlogged. Well, again, I think we can fix that. Just not right now. Oh man, there's a hole in our boat. We've completely balked it. Well, we'll fix that up. Maybe when we get it to level 2, it'll patch itself up anyway. But yeah, we can certainly get all of this dirt out of the hold. Oh my god. But as you can see, there's loads and loads and loads of room down here. It's a bit dark, so apologies if you can't see very well, but actually, I have a fix for that. Where are my night vision goggles? Yeah, boom. Suddenly now we can see everything inside. But yeah, once you upgrade the dromon to level 2, it gets loads and loads and loads of guard towers along here. It's a great way to inject a whole bunch of guards into your colony, especially if you have loads of land that happens to be water. Bit of a contradiction there, but okay. Now, building the dromon has kind of almost fixed the water issues. While this was being built, I was a bit worried because the water looked really messy. I wondered how we were going to fix that, but it looks like the dromon, when you build it, the builder goes around, I guess, with a bucket and kind of fixes the water himself. So this is all looking pretty swish and amazing. Oh man, we've got to do something about all that sugarcane. That's crazy, and the bamboo as well. But we couldn't leave the episode there, so I've gone around with more retaining walls, flattened out the area, added some grass, and now, as you can see, the district is ready for those new buildings. So thank you very much for watching this episode of Minecraft Byzantine. This episode, we got the dromon built. It's huge, it's impressive, it's amazing. We also got the Siegeworks done. That's another mechanics hut. And we flattened out the area, built some retaining walls, basically created a whole new docks district. Let me know in the comment section what kind of buildings you think we should put here. I'm loosely thinking warehouse, but of course, there's other options. As always, don't forget to check out the Discord, hit like and subscribe, and until next time, take care.